guys, welcome back to my channel. It's super dark because it is very disgusting and rainy out, so we're just gonna have to work with all the lights that I currently have available in my room. Today I wanted to do a video talking about manifestation because it's relevant to my ethos on this channel, because here we talk about spirituality, creativity, and lifestyle. And I've been hearing some things lately. Obviously manifestation has been big since I feel like 2020 is when it really blew up on TikTok, but I've been hearing a lot of people recently really deriding it and being like, it's so stupid, it's never gonna work. And I think honestly, if you're going based on what TikTok says, then yeah, I don't blame you for thinking that it's stupid, but I want to give you my perspective on it and why I think it works and how you can make it work. There is a spiritual aspect baked into the concept of manifestation, but to me, the psychological component is even larger. And I don't know that people understand that well enough. The biggest benefit you can get from manifestation, regardless of whether or not you believe that there are external forces that are going to bring you what you specifically desire, there is a massive psychological benefit to believing that you are capable of having something and believing that you deserve to have that thing and putting it into your subconscious, because that's where it can influence your actions. When it comes to things like affirmations or journaling or meditating on what it is that you want, if you are making the switch to, instead of saying I don't deserve this, saying I do deserve this and here's why, you are going to become the kind of person who wants to align your identity with what you believe that you deserve. Geez, the planes are so loud today. I live right by an airport, so I can't even remember what I was saying because the plane distracted me, but you end up aligning your identity with being the kind of person who does deserve that thing. So that means, I'm gonna come up with a totally random example. Let's say you're like, I deserve to work at Google as a programmer because I am one of the most skilled programmers. You are going to take the classes and do what it takes to become the most deserving programmer of that job, because you are going to want to align your reality with your identity. Identity is a very powerful motivator and psychological concept. If you tell yourself that you are the kind of person who will never make straight A's in a class because it's just fundamental to who you are, you will never be the person who makes straight A's in that class. And maybe it's true. Maybe it's true that you are not the smartest person in the world when it comes to whatever it is that you have to study. But if you believe that you're the person who will never get straight A's, you're much more likely to get D's when you completely give up. But if you believe I could, if I challenged myself, if I tried really hard, get higher grades, you're more likely to be getting B's and C's, even if you don't hit the A mark. So this is why it's better to, people call it being delusional, which the reason why it's called that is because it is seen as being deluded by some people to have these ideas and thought processes that are not immediately currently reflected in your reality. But if you believe and identify without having proof currently that you are capable of achieving something, you will take the actions and you will take the classes, or you will make up the business cards, or you will put yourself out there in ways that you wouldn't have if you had continued to fundamentally believe internally in your conscious and subconscious mind that you are not capable. So why even try? There are things that will not even occur to you to do them until you put this into your head that you can achieve what it is that you want. That, to me, is the most useful aspect of manifestation. The spirituality component doesn't even work without that psychological aspect. It reminds me of a story I read once, and I don't remember exactly how it goes, but I'm just going to paraphrase it. So a guy survived a hurricane, and he's looking to be saved, and the streets are all flooded, and somebody comes by on a boat, and they say, "Here, come with me. I'll save you." And the guy goes, no, I'm not going to go with you because God will save me. Okay, so he goes back to struggling and waiting to be rescued. And somebody comes on a helicopter and says, "Okay, here, come on, let's go. I'm here to save you." And he goes, no, don't worry. God's going to save me. I'm not going to go with you. And then obviously he dies and he goes to heaven and he's like, "God, what the f***? You were supposed to save me." And God's like, no. I tried to save you. I sent you the man in the boat, the man in the helicopter. You were supposed to go with them. This is like a very paraphrased version of that story, but God or the universe or whatever it is that you believe in can only do so much to the point that you allow it to help you. Because people can come to you offering you all kinds of blessings, but if you don't believe that you can handle them and you don't believe that you deserve them, then you won't take them, and therefore you will not get those blessings. I personally do believe that if you are in the energy of thinking that you deserve what you want, that more things do come your way by virtue of a spiritual reason. Because think of it, if God's gonna bless you, is he gonna give you the most blessings when you think that you're not being blessed? Or is he gonna give you the most blessings when you're ready to be blessed and he knows you're gonna take them, right? If you don't believe in that, that's fine. But in terms of why people think it's BS, it's because there are a lot of people on YouTube primarily who they seem to promote the idea that you have to do nothing and you'll still be able to get anything that you want, which isn't true. Sometimes, in reality, all you can do is wait and hope that something comes your way. If you're in a challenging situation and you're already doing all that you can, sometimes that's just where it starts and ends because you've already put in all that effort. But if you're saying, okay, I want this money for this specific goal, and you don't have a job, or you're not even trying to get a job, or you're not even trying to make money, you're not gonna get that money, bro. You might get $100 on a lottery ticket, and you might get, but even that in and of itself is still taking action. There's this oversimplification of this spiritual and psychological concept happening, and it's also presented in a very manipulative way that I think turns people off to these concepts on the whole. Especially with the whole feminine energy thing. I am kind of a believer in feminine energy, but even I myself have found myself wanting to distance myself from that because of how toxic I feel that sphere has become. Everybody has masculine and feminine energy is the way that this idea goes. And they're called masculine and feminine because of yin and yang. It's not that only men can be direct and take action and only women can sit back and do nothing. That's not really what it's supposed to be about. It's supposed to be a response, I feel, to the fact that when we had, I'm already getting into tons of other things. You guys are just gonna have to roll with me. Is that when we had the women's liberation movement and we said women want to go to work, we want to have the opportunity to have meaningful careers and not just be stuck at home, and we don't want to solely be responsible for childcare. Men didn't keep their end of the bargain. They were like, okay, fine, we'll let you go to school and work, but we're not going to be doing more to take care of the kids. We're still going to be acting like this is a single parent working household and one parent staying at home. Now, what it has become is many women experience having to do 99% of the childcare duties and working a job. Talk about unhelpful. This is a response to that because a lot of women have been made to feel that they are held to higher standards in their personal relationships in terms of childcare. They're just held to these ridiculous standards if they have to be able to hustle and grind in a masculine environment of a workplace that is really more so built for people who don't have other responsibilities and they expect you to just be 100% available to work. But for a lot of women who are taking on the brunt of childcare duties or are caring for elderly parents or sick relatives, or they're just expected to be more caring and compassionate towards their friends than many men are, like that's work. Work goes into maintaining relationships as well. Because if you have to go to work, but you're also expected to go to Kathy's baby shower, Luann's wedding, Keisha's birthday party, like girl, for a straight man, if you don't go to another straight man's birthday party, it's fine, right? They're not typically very pressed. But as a woman, if you don't go to another woman's birthday party, if you don't have a really good reason, you look like a bitch. So that is what the whole feminine energy thing is, I feel, in response to. And that's why I think it is right and it is balanced to tell women that pushing themselves until they burn out will not yield the kind of results that they think it does. But anyway, let me get back into the main meat of the thing I'm talking about because the video is already running long. My preferred methods of manifestation are affirmations sometimes, but mostly vision boards. I like to make a vision board at the beginning of the year, and I always keep it out in my space so that it's always in my mind. Even if I don't look at it every single day, sometimes if I'm thinking about doing something, I will just naturally glance over at it and be like, I'm not really working on that goal right now. And then I'll be thinking, well, it's okay, I still have time to do it. But it keeps your goals very tangible and accessible and ingrained in you, which will put you in the mindset to achieve those things and to prioritize them as well. There are a lot of really weird manifestation methods that have been popularized on TikTok where it's 369, just writing it in specific numbers. And to me, now this is coming from my perspective as a witch, there's a distinction between spell work and manifestation. With the 369 situation, that is something that I would more so see as fitting in with a spell, but a spell that's missing all its other components. A big part of the thing with manifestation is not necessarily the number of times that you write it down. It's more so about the inner work and the inner process that's happening. Whereas if you were to do a spell and you were using numbers as part of building the layers of your spell, the same way that you would build in color and you would build in different herbs and crystals and materials, you need intent behind that. And right, I have a car, I have a car, I have a car, is not really potent enough of an intent to get what you want through a spell. You see what, it's like not really a spell, it's not really manifestation, it's just kind of dying in the middle there with no true meaningful benefit to you. Stay away from the weird methods. And when it comes to witchcraft, if it's something that you genuinely are interested in, I really encourage you to learn about it. However, I am very wary of telling people to just start and just do it, the same way I'm very wary of telling people to just read tarot indiscriminately, like think they can read for everybody else, think that they can charge money right away for readings. That's something that I take very seriously. If you're not educated, or if you don't already have a set cultural practice that your family is a part of, it can be very, very dangerous for you to just trust your own readings or do spells right off the bat. It's kind of hard to describe the distinction, but I guess my point is that divination and spell work and learning these things is a way of life, and it's a calling. And if you just want to dabble in it, that's fine, but then just be doing dabbling type things with it. Don't dabble in trying to make somebody propose to you. Don't dabble in trying to do a reading on somebody's deceased loved ones. Like that, you're doing too much. Dabble in, what's coming up for me? We have past, present, future. That's what you should be doing. If you don't know what you're doing, then just stick with that. And even I am not saying I'm an expert, but I have the personal proof to back up the workings that I've done, meaning I have successful workings. I have had successful readings where I am trusted by people to predict their life and to give them advice. I have proof of competency and I have proof of success. If you do not have that, if your predictions do not come true, you gotta come back. You gotta come back and learn something else. In summary, stay away from the weird methods of manifestation and focus more so on the ones that really involve engaging with your mindset and really changing your mental state. So that's what I have for you guys today. If you enjoyed, comment a crystal ball emoji down below. And also let me know if there are any other topics of this kind that you would like me to discuss. Any more topics in the spiritual realm. I used to do my new moon and full moon tarot readings, but YouTube hates them. So I've put a pause on that for now. Yeah, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.